Hello, everyone. Byron and Slade here, and we're here to mourn, and we're here to talk.
That's right. We're here to mourn the end of an era.
Yep.
You know, time in our industry has fallen today. And without any further ado, we're just going to pull the plug on this thing. E3 has been canceled.
That's right. So, two sources have confirmed to IGN that an email was sent that while E3 remains a beloved event and brand, that the 2023 version simply did not garner the sustained interest necessary to execute it in a way that would showcase the strength, size, and impact of our industry. The ESA concludes the email by reiterating its commitment to the advocacy work, and following IGN's report, the ESA issued the following public statement from Kyle Martson-Kish, the global VP of gaming at ReedPop. Quote, "This was a difficult decision because of all the effort we and our partners put towards making this event happen, but we had to do what's right for the industry and what's right for E3. We appreciate and understand that interested companies wouldn't have playable demos ready and that resourcing challenges made being at E3 this summer an obstacle they couldn't overcome. For those who did commit to E3 2023, we're sorry we can't put on the showcase you deserve and that you've come to expect from ReedPop's event experience." So, obviously, Slade, we know Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo, the big three, they pulled out of E3, but guess who else pulled out of E3 this year?
We have three companies that announced this week. It probably ultimately led to the decision for them to cancel it overall.
Yes.
So starting with Ubisoft.
That's right. So Ubisoft will no longer be attending E3 2023. It will be, quote, moving in a different direction. They're still going to have their event, Ubisoft Forward, on June 12th. We may or may not cover that. This story was broken by VGC, and another story broken, Slade. Tencent and Sega are pulled out of E3 2023, corroborated by IGN.
That is correct. So, concerns over E3's 2023 future obviously led to Sega and Tencent also being part of the skipping E3 2023 rumors. I think there's a report where an executive with one of those two companies said there's no possible way the show can happen.
Yeah, there's no.
And they cited that as their reason for not attending.
Yeah, and even at GDC last week, Jason Schreier and others got questioned of like, oh, what about E3? What's going to happen with E3? And other people at that event were asked, is your company going to E3? Like, yeah, I think this is the end. I truly believe that this is E3's final hoorah.
Yeah, I think so too. I think once ReedPop made the decision to take over, I thought this would have been a good thing for E3. But, you know, for that to be true, the companies that would, actually go also have to believe that to be the case, which kind of insane that they don't, considering ReedPop's track record, but I guess it goes to show what I know.
Yeah, well...
And it's not just ReedPop. Another announcement that was made was Summer Games Fest. Their dates were also announced, and I think that's another reason why a lot of these companies kind of noped out of E3 is because there's a much cheaper online alternative available as well.
Yeah, that's right. June 8th, we will be covering that. Of course, the Keighley event kicking off live from the YouTube theater in I believe LA. And of course, they have their own in-person event, which is probably way cheaper than ESA and ReedPop's event. And I think it's press only, but I could be wrong about that. I could be wrong about the in-person being press only. But yeah, it is a very interesting state to be in, considering we are now, about 3 months or so, 2.5 months out from when it would have happened, and it's just canceled.
Yeah, that's correct. I also don't think that the announcement for Summer Games Fest to go live on Thursday, June 8th, 2 hours before, the news of E3 shutting down was a
Yeah,
coincidence.
that's Keely's thing. He's always posting news before or after E3 news, which is very hilarious. But also quite the timing there. Wink, wink, Mr. Keely.
Yeah, I think we know that this was definitely planned, but no, it's, as I said, the whole thing's just pretty interesting overall. Obviously, it's kind of sad because like I've always viewed E3 as like video game Christmas, and like it was something where like all these companies got together and got to really show off all their really cool games and products
Yeah.
and whatnot. And that's something that's probably just going to be lost, moving forward.
Yeah.
I know, again, we definitely have plenty of alternative like Gamescom and
Summer
most
Game
likely
Fest.
Summer Games Fest, but then also they do a lot more announcements at the Game Awards and stuff like that
And
as well.
yeah, and something even mentioned in the first IGN article about E3 being canceled was that these companies weren't getting demos ready to showcase, and maybe not having an event like an E3 has a little bit less pressure on the developers to get a demo ready.
Yeah.
Which that's always been apparently a big issue with E3. But yeah, interesting times. I think I would be shocked if the ESA and ReedPop try to bring back E3 in 2024. I think it's over. I
think it's over too, because again, there's too many viable, cheaper alternatives that companies could go to on top of just having their own online direct like presentations.
Yeah, like look at Nintendo. Look, we're gonna get to Nintendo later with an event they did this week.
Yeah, if you would have told me in 2013 that Nintendo's decision to live stream the event via direct was going to be the thing that led to like E3 dying, I think everybody would have like laughed you out of the room.
Yeah,
at the time that was pretty controversial decision that people pushed back on.
Yeah, like there's some meme like domino image put in the text at the very beginning domino. Nintendo announces Nintendo Direct, biggest domino, E3 canceled.
Yeah, like it's actually kind of crazy how much, that decision to do an online presentation has like actually straight up done.
Yeah, like Nintendo in 2013 doing their very first Direct, Sony in 2018 having a show that happened with the moving between different areas thing, and then them basically next year saying bye. The pandemic happened, press getting doxxed, which obviously isn't fucking great. Like, a variety of factors killed E3.
Yeah.
So, this is our moratorium of E3. It has been quite the event. I would be gobsmacked if they tried to revive it. I don't think they will. I think for everybody's sake, it should just be over. Maybe Keely can buy the brand of E3. I don't know.
Yeah. I think that's what it would take for E3 to come back in any sort of like meaningful way, is for Jeff Keighley to attach it to Summer Games Fest in some way or some form.
Or maybe nobody buys the brand name and it's just a brand name of the past.
Yes. I think that's the more likely case. I think the announcements will be more spread out between like Summer Games Fest, Gamescom, and stuff like that. And
Gamescom, Game Awards,
the Game Awards.
Sony maybe doing a big showcase because they haven't done one in, I think, nearly 2 years. Xbox doing whatever Xbox is doing. indies doing their thing. Hell, even the past couple of years, there has been a thing called F3, all about fan games. Like,
Yeah.
even the fans and indies are getting in on the style, on the Nintendo Direct style of presentation.
Yeah, like I remember seeing like a Paper Mario themed fan games direct.
Yeah, that's
or
fucking
Paper
crazy.
Mario like games.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy.
Like, yeah, they're definitely everywhere. So, just you know, interesting spot Nintendo decided to be a trailblazer on.
Yeah, and well, speaking of interesting spots to be in, we have a company that is in a very interesting spot with a very interesting thing. So this is gonna be our smaller story for this episode. Last of Us Part 1 came to PC. It was supposed to come out around the time of the end of the series, which I have heard nothing but praise for the HBO series.
Yeah.
However, there hasn't
yeah.
been as much praise for The Last of Us Part 1's PC port, which currently on Steam is sitting at mostly negative, with nearly 10,000 reviews, and 38% of those nearly 10,000 reviews are positive. And yeah, there are many an issue shader compilations taking anywhere from 15 minutes to 2 hours, which is games crashing, all that good stuff. Like, there's even a very funny review that calls it the crash of us.
Yeah. One review states, I got a job, got married, had kids, got divorced, died, and came back to the life by the time the shaders were done downloading.
Yeah.
I'm just like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, Deadly Pixel, he had crashes on a 3090, an Intel i7 12700K.
Yikes.
GPU is 100% on the menu.
Yeah, so obviously The Last of Us Part 1 is not, putting its best foot forward, to say the very least, or any foot forward for that matter. So yeah, the whatchamacallit, the release of the game on Steam has been a complete disaster.
Yeah,
you have to kind of wonder whether or not, they rush it out there to, like, again, make it come out during the end of the HBO series.
And the funny thing is, they pushed it back a couple of weeks from its original date, which I believe was March 3rd, which would have been, like, literally right around the end of the show.
Oh, wow. So even with the delay, there just wasn't enough time. And you have to wonder, would all these companies ever learn that rushing these products out only gets you a lot of negative, like, publicity? I think it's a little bit, like, less so with ports of games.
Yeah, because, like, Sony have typically done a really good job with their PC ports. There was issues with the first Horizon game coming to Steam. I know Sackboy: A Big Adventure had a few minor issues here and there, but for the most part, the Sony PC games have been well received and actually ran. This is not great. Not great at all.
No, not great indeed. And it's a sad thing to see, considering that The Last of Us Part 1, as they're calling it now, is such a fantastic game. And it definitely hurts to see it in this state. I mean, it's not, the only port this year to completely and totally stumble and honestly fall completely on its face.
No, but, like, this is a big story because of the game it is, the fact it's coming to PC for the first time, and it's Sony.
Yeah, it's Sony. Not to mention, it's attached to Naughty Dog, which, if for nothing else, they are known for their seal of, like, quality.
Yeah, and apparently, Iron Galaxy
never had an issue with them before.
Yeah, and apparently, Iron Galaxy, I think, at least helped out with the port, if not mostly did the port.
Oh, that explains so much.
Damn.
Okay, yeah, they don't have the track record I was talking about.
Yeah, Naughty Dog, PlayStation on PC, typically has a good track record.
Yeah, they do, but Iron Galaxy, ooh, yikes.
Yeah. But speaking of things with great track records, or maybe not great track records, depending, Let's talk about our final thing this week. That was the biggest news before, E3's death. We got a Tears of the Kingdom gameplay showcase. This was announced, what was it announced Monday?
That's correct. And then it came out, I think, Wednesday morning. So, pretty interesting stuff. Obviously, I think they have like this new, I'm going to call it a crafting ability where you can glue parts together and whatnot.
So,
and make like actual like vehicles, rafts, and stuff like that.
Yeah, so the fuse
Possibly houses?
ability where you could put a rock, like a rock on like your weapon and make it more durable and hit a little bit harder.
It seems like you could do a lot of stuff with it. I think they're chasing, the creativity of the infinite like customization playthrough that the first Breath of the Wild had, in terms of you have a near infinite way to solve every problem they put in front of you.
Yeah.
And they're just trying to build on that mindset, because I don't even think Nintendo knew the depths of like how crazy people could like go in terms of like coming up with stuff.
Yeah, and I think this was their way to sort of skirt around a controversial feature that Breath of the Wild had that some people like, some people don't like, and that's weapon durability. I think that's their way of skirting around that a little bit.
Well, I know that weapon durability, I think they had to do it because they didn't have meaningful like treasures and rewards to collect from like the overworld.
Yeah.
And they needed people to go around and have reasons to actually explore, and replacing your weapons was probably the number one reason to do so.
Yeah.
I think that this mitigates it a bit because now there's so much customization involved with it instead. So it's not just like finding, whatever weapon you want to see or have, but it's also like you get a certain item or material to attach to it to make that weapon just that much better and more durable.
Yep. We learned about the recall ability, which was the thing where Link can climb the rocks all the way up.
Yeah, honestly, I think I saw like Twitter post something where someone's like Bethesda like climbing mountains or something, and Nintendo's just like, huh, and then just jumps to the ceiling.
Yeah, well, speaking of that, we now know what the going through things ability is. It's called Ascend. You can just ascend through walls for the most part.
I think there's going to be limitations for it, but
of course.
I think that's like, again, everything that was shown off was pretty cool overall. I think for most people, it restored a lot of faith in Tears of the Kingdom, because I think there's a sentiment that if this game's just going to be largely the same as Breath of the Wild with no like additional gameplay improvements or anything like that, then what's the point?
I wouldn't, and maybe this is just from my perspective, not as a Zelda fan. I like the features are cool. It's still, they didn't really like say much beyond like the couple of new gameplay features we got.
Yeah, it seems like they're still playing their cards very close to their chest, but
yeah, and we learned about Ultra Hand, which you can just grab stuff, put it on. The example shown, you could put fans on a boat to make it go vroom vroom.
Yeah, you can also, make flying vehicles and stuff like that. I think that's going to be the mechanic people have the most creativity / fun with.
So they're going nuts, huh? Bolting things together. Hey!
Oh my lord.
I hate that I made that as a Banjo fan.
but honestly, everything looks pretty good. I'm actually definitely looking forward to the game when it comes out.
Yeah, and speaking of when it comes out, we got two things for Tears of the Kingdom. We got a Switch carrying case and an ugly ass fucking Pro controller. Okay. The controller itself is not ugly. The fact that it has a dual colored handle, no. Please stop.
Yeah, that white grip kind of just comes at you. It's just like, oh, you're just really here to stay, huh?
Yeah, like the rest of the controller looks fine. The rest of that Pro controller looks fine, and the carrying case looks pretty good. Now, will it fit a Switch OLED? I don't know, because guess fucking what? We got for the first time, a Nintendo Switch Zelda themed limited edition system.
Which was kind of crazy considering Breath of the Wild was a launch title for the Switch. But
Yeah.
I guess I kind of get it. They're more focused on the Switch's success than anything else.
Yep. It is a Switch OLED. My only issue, once again, the weird duality colors, because it's a black Switch OLED with a white OLED dock, when there has been a white Nintendo Switch OLED. I don't know, but that's me being nitpicky. The Joy-Cons look good until they drift in you after playing 100 hours of Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah.
But the system is coming out on the 28th of April, which is a couple of weeks before the game comes out, and then the Pro Controller and Switch carrying case are coming out the day of the game's release. But yeah, what are your overall thoughts on Tears of the Kingdom? The state of Tears of the Kingdom right now for you, Slade. What is your thoughts?
I think I'm definitely a bit more hopeful going into this than I was previously. I think, again, I just needed to see some form of gameplay and what the changes to the original game was going to be. I think having some clarity on what the abilities are definitely helps its case, because again, I think a lot of people were worried once they made the announcement that the game was going to take place in the same Hyrule as Breath of the Wild, that there wasn't going to be enough changes to the game itself to warrant playing a game in the exact same area.
Yeah.
So I think this is great overall. I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Yeah. Well,
but that's going to be everything for the news this week.
Yeah, light week, but we got a couple of heavy hitters. Jesus Christ.
And E3 dying is also kind of a pretty big fucking deal.
Yeah, we got Nintendo finally gave more info about Tears of the Kingdom, which I think this is, besides the typical overview trailer they usually do a month before the game's release, I think this is the last we hear about Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah.
Again, with the exception of that overview trailer we're going to get in a couple weeks, a month before the release of Tears of the Kingdom. And then, of course, RIP E3. It was nice knowing you. You were an event that happened with great news. And all
okay, let's get this thing the eulogy it deserves.
Yeah.
I think I've had some very fantastic, memories with E3.
Yeah.
Obviously, I think the one thing everybody points to is the Twilight Princess announcement at E3, which was super legendary and straight up iconic, if I'm going to be completely honest with you. And I think we've got a lot of legendary stuff at E3, so no, I'm going to miss it. I'm definitely going to miss it.
Yeah. There were great moments. There were a lot of cringy moments.
I'm just going to say, I'm also never going to forget the time we watched the Ubisoft Presents together.
Dear God.
And they announced 20 Tom Clancy games in a row, and you just lost your mind.
I did lose it.
I wish we had recorded that so I could give that to you guys. I swear, it's great comedy. It was just a clown show. It was great.
Love Bao. Of course, Nintendo having some cringe moments, including the Wii music thing.
Yeah.
When
they were shashowcasing Skyward Sword.
Yeah.
And they straight up could not get the controls to work.
Yeah. God. But
iconic for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
But anyways, this has been Slade.
And this has been Byron. RIP E3. And look forward to Tears of the Kingdom and more gaming news. Hope you all have a good day, good night, and goodbye.